Do you believe they actually want to move Shedeur? I mean, do you see it happening realistically with how things are playing out?
If he does get moved, it won't be before week 1. I think it'll be a team that like maybe is on the cusp of making the playoffs and maybe thinks that he could be the push.
It's going to be
Because
something
also,
irritating, like a quarterback goes down
or
and the
maybe a
backup
quarterback
option's
goes
just not going to be
down.
viable, and
I
they're going to
do
be like
still
Shedeur.
I do still think that whoever the decision makers are in New Orleans needs to pick up the phone and call Cleveland every day until numbers block,
God,
because
yes. Please.
I don't know why you wouldn't be doing that.
Right. Don't get me wrong. Shuck and Rattler looking all right, but I mean,
They're not Shedeur Sanders.
they're not. Nah,
The only other
I was
team-
literally getting ready to order a Shedorlands custom shirt, brother. I'd
The only
have it on
team-
right now. Boy.
The only other team I can think of that might put the call in for Shedeur is the Rams. Stafford obviously has fewer days.
Stetson's been lighting it up.
Yeah, but he's not better than Shedeur.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair.
I
would definitely give you that one. I would definitely give you that one.
I hear you on the Stetson Bennett point, but like he's not better than Shedeur Sanders.
Right.
So like maybe the Rams, but I'm just sitting here trying to like go down the list. The Steelers should still probably, I think, put the phone and call, because Mason Rudolph is not the answer, and they are not going to have a shot at Arch this year or next. Honestly.
So do you foresee Shedeur as like a solid backup, or like he could be that QB1? Because
Shedeur Sanders,
I mean, they got Aaron Rodgers in.
Shedeur Sanders at his best in the NFL, if a team does right by him, can win you a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That is what I believe.
Yeah.
Firmly.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders in Pittsburgh this season, they're a playoff team. If they make every move they made, but instead of signing Aaron Rodgers, they draft Shedeur Sanders, they're a playoff team this season.
Damn.
If the New Orleans Saints even go out there and get Shedeur Sanders, they have a strong chance to win the division, I would think, because that division's wide open, honestly. Like, I love the Bucks, but anything can happen there.
Yeah,
right.
Man,
I think the Bucks are obviously the favorite. Like, anything can happen there.
The NFC South is so crazy because the Bucks are the best team, but like on paper, Atlanta should be running that damn division. On paper, Atlanta should be running that division because they have the Lord. Because I would be so sad if that fell. That took me forever to hang. Yeah, we're good. Watch, I'm gonna keep messing with it. It's gonna fall. Michael Penix, in my opinion, is like, I mean, I'm not gonna say he's the best quarterback in the division because Baker is there, but like Michael Penix to me is the most talented quarterback in that division.
I mean, if I just keep going, like the Dolphins would have been better off with Shedeur Sanders and Quinn Ewers.
Yeah,
if we're being completely honest.
Yeah.
You know, if I go over to, let's see, now we're going over to the AFC South. The Colts would have been better off with Shedeur Sanders than signing Daniel Jones, if we're being completely honest.
Shedeur,
right? If I go over to the AFC North, I mean, he's already in the AFC North. You go to the AFC West. I think the AFC West is probably the only division where probably Shedeur wouldn't have ended up, like, no chance at all. But then again, and that's only because Geno still has a little bit left in the tank for at least another 3 to 5, maybe at least 3 years for sure. Right. You don't want Shedeur Sanders sitting for 3 years. NFC teams, you know, again, we talked about the Giants, but they obviously had Jackson Dart already. I mentioned the Rams. You know, the Niners aren't going to move off of them. Maybe the Kyler Murray experience in Arizona comes to an end, but I wouldn't want to see Shedeur in that kind of environment. I want to see him in an environment we could thrive pretty early on. But there are a couple of teams where that should be calling. I don't know if they will, but the Saints and the Steelers are the two teams for me that if Shedeur were to be moved, it would be because one of those teams finally come to their senses and they realize that they need him.
Yep.
You put Shedeur in Pittsburgh, I think they're a playoff team this season. Absolutely. And I do believe, conspiracy or no, the only reason why the Steelers didn't draft Shedeur Sanders is because Aaron Rodgers, when he was contemplating retirement, had pretty much already told them, if I don't retire, it will be to come play for you. And they didn't want to risk having a repeat of Green Bay 2020 of potentially pissing him off. And I'm just like, Aaron Rodgers, at this point in your career, brother, like, be glad there's a team that even wants you to be under center with how you looked in New York last season. Like, just be grateful, but whatever.
Yeah. I firmly believe the Cleveland Browns should look into trading Shedeur Sanders, because if he's going to sit behind a quarterback in Dylan Gabriel, who I have a lot of respect for, I believe that Dylan Gabriel could have been a first through a third round quarterback. I'm on an island for saying that. I just personally believe that Dylan Gabriel was a very good college quarterback. I had Shedeur ahead of him, but for an NFL front office, which we said there's a lot of idiots working in the NFL, for an NFL front office, an NFL staffing, management team looking at this depth chart, putting Shedeur fourth is crazy. Shedeur at worst should be QB2 on this roster. Kenny Pickett should be cut or fourth, and Dylan Gabriel should be 3. It really should be Shedeur, Gabriel, or Pickett. Maybe, I mean, you could argue anybody at 2, right? But like, we know Shedeur has an immense opportunity to be QB1. So I mean, don't.
You know what my theory is?
If you hold him, what's the point? What's the point in holding him? You can't. You're not showcasing because you didn't play him anymore.
Here's my theory.
Shedeur is going to play. Excuse me.
The reason why Shedeur Sanders isn't QB1 is because if Shedeur Sanders is QB1, he's going to play well. And the Browns can't go back to Deshaun Watson when he's healthy, following a strong rookie season from Shedeur Sanders. That's why Shedeur Sanders is 4th, because it would take catastrophe upon catastrophe upon catastrophe.
They buried that man on the depth chart.
For Shedeur Sanders to play. And then when Deshaun Watson is healthy, the Browns can say, well, we're going to go to Deshaun because the only reason why Shedeur played is because we witnessed 3 QB catastrophes, whatever that might be. If Shedeur Sanders was the starter in week 1 and he's played the entire season, didn't get hurt, and he played well, and the Browns were competitive, they would have no leg to stand on when Deshaun Watson got healthy. And the Browns need Deshaun Watson to play a full season of football for that egregious contract to be even somewhat.
They're done for. Their insurance policy is kicking in.
That's the only reason why Shedeur Sanders is not starting. It's because they need to be able to go back to Deshaun Watson when he's finally healthy. You can go back to Deshaun Watson if Joe Flacco's your starter. You can go back to Deshaun Watson if Kenny Pickett's your starter. You can go back to Deshaun Watson if Dylan Gabriel's your starter. But you cannot go back to Deshaun Watson if Shedeur Sanders is your starter. And the Browns know that.
And why?
That's why he's 4th.
Why can they not go back to Shedeur? Why can they not go back to him?
Why can't they go back to Shedeur?
Yeah, did you not just say say what you just said again about that's why Shedeur's 4th, because they can't fall back to Shedeur?
Shedeur's 4th. Because if Shedeur were to be the starter in week 1, Shedeur doesn't get hurt. He's playing all 17.
Yeah.
And
so
he's
they're paying $230 million
situation
to a rookie, I guess, is how they look at it.
After this season, going into next season when Deshaun Watson is healthy, if he's healthy, what leg would the Browns have to stand on to go back to Deshaun Watson if Shedeur Sanders gives me a great rookie season? Oh, and by the way, if Shedeur Sanders has a great rookie season in Cleveland, they're competitive, Shedeur Sanders is Offensive Rookie of the Year. You can't go back to Deshaun Watson after that. But I can go back to Deshaun Watson if Joe Flacco is my starter. Or if I end up pivoting to Kenny Pickett, I can go back to Deshaun Watson.
They're just done.
Or if I end up going to Dylan Gabriel, I can go back to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And even if Shedeur plays this season, he's QB4, which means the Browns can say, yeah, well, he only played because 3 QBs went down.
Yeah.
So I can still go to Deshaun Watson. The only way they can't go back to Deshaun Watson after Shedeur Sanders is if Shedeur Sanders was the starter week 1. That's why he's QB4.
Right.
Because they need Deshaun Watson to play a full season of football before it's all said and done. They need that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Good explanation there,
conspiracy.
Man. Good take.
They're the dumbest franchise in the league right now. And we see it we're reminded of that every single season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sucks to suck if you're a Browns fan. I don't know what to tell you.
Right. So, I mean, it's just going to come down to, like, do they want to pull the trigger and trade before the season even kicks off? Or, do they feel like it doesn't even, I know they don't feel like they have a talent sitting in the room, because that's why he's at where he's at. And honestly, with your explanation, I'm sure it has been discussed to somewhat of that extent, but that's a really good way to put it, man. It really is. But you guys let us know in the comments about the Shedeur Sanders discussion.
Hey, it's AJL here. Appreciate you sticking to the end of the video here on YouTube. You could have chose any other show, but you chose my video, and for that, I'm very grateful. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. Hit the bell on the channel so you never miss a post. Check me out on all social media platforms. Right here, you'll find a chance to subscribe to the show, a related video, and a playlist. See you guys in the next one.